I think for the new agents starting out, especially ones that are using this as their sole income, some people get into the industry and they still have their full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're new in the industry, you really have to hit the ground hard. You know, the competition is real. You have to do everything you can. As you start doing deals and you start seeing how much time this business can take from us and does take from us, then maybe there's times that you can start setting more boundaries. I certainly, and the ones that are on here that have known me for almost 30 years, because some of you do, I had a hard time setting boundaries for sure, but I always knew that my why was my children.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if it meant that I had to miss a dinner because a listing appointment was during that time, I certainly missed the dinner. The benefits to my children definitely were there, are there still. But I learned over years, okay, you know what? I've worked this hard. I've done this much now for 10 years. So now for the next 10 years, I'm going to take a step back. And now I'm going to shut off my phone at 8 o'clock, unless
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing an offer. Now I'm going to say, okay, Sundays, I'm really going to try not to work. Try to do that. It can be difficult. I find that's the most challenging of all. Is I always say to myself, if I miss this appointment, what if they decide to go somewhere else? And that's always, I feel, for me, one of the hardest challenges in this business was my full-time job. So what happens when I can't or
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to? Right? So I'd love some Q&A right now about people, how they've kind of mastered this, the ones that are on our attendance right now. Time management is really difficult in commission sales. And I'm sure you get feedback from a lot of realtors, thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal.
It is hard. It is hard. And people will actually respect your boundaries more than you think that they will. And they actually learn to respect you more if you set some boundaries as well. But again, it's really hard to do, right? Because we want to be as accommodating as we can. One thing you can do is like, what if you were actually fully booked that full day? You would have no choice but to say, you know what, I can't, unfortunately, I'm fully booked today. This is what I can do. And if they still can't, you say, okay, well, let me get back to you. I'm going to see if I can make some adjustments. So you can kind of play the game like, yes, I am fully booked. But if they can't sway, you can't get them to show up at a different day or different time. That means it's okay. Let me just see if I can move or shuffle some things around. And then I'll try to accommodate and show up for you for that. Right. So it's trying to set the boundaries the best you can. And again, some people are, oh yeah, they just say a time. Doesn't mean they can't do other times. They're not saying this is the only time I can do it. You know, that's another situation. Most people are flexible for the most part. But again, it also depends on the market. What is the market doing? Do we have to go see this today, or are they going to lose out on it? Right. So
yeah, that's a tough one. The market that we were in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
especially when people were doing bully offers, you certainly, that's a really difficult thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I find when I'm doing my daytimer now, I know there's a certain part of the day that for me, because I'm older, I need to be home if at all possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very clear when I book my appointments now. I know exactly when I'm not going to book them unless it's a worst case scenario. And that's the only time that my people can go out. I know from 7:30 in the morning until 11 a.m. That's my follow-up. That's my desk time. That's my agent locator time. That's my time blocking. So you'll see, if you ever had access to my date book, you'll see a lot of my appointments are from noon on. And that's even on the weekends as well. On the weekends, I've really started to learn that if I'm able to just have a little bit of what I call tea time, meaning I can have my coffee and I'm not running out the door at 9 a.m., I'll do everything I can to book my appointments from noon on the weekends as well. And I really hold true to that. If somebody needs 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night, I definitely will say, are you able to do this time or that time? And if they can't, I am certainly going to show the properties.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Yeah.
realtor,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is what
Mm-hmm.
I signed up for. And I think that, it's such a hard fine line. It really is. It's probably still to this day the most difficult for me.
Yeah.
The best thing I ever did was put that message on my phone that said, if you're calling me after 8 o'clock at night, please understand that I will call you back after 9 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.